Okay, so I wanted to drop in and share a little snippet of what's been transpiring between myself and my mentorship group. So one of the things that I shared with one of the sisters a little while ago was that prosperity is peace of the moment. When you are in a moment and you experience just unconditional peace, that's your level of abundance. That's where you're prosperous. And what's been passing through the group is that our body's telling stories, but we think our body is actually experiencing pain. We think the body is experiencing discomfort, disease, disharmony, which it is. But like, what is that? What is disease? What is discomfort? What is disharmony? And I think we all know by now that that means something is not balanced. Something's not aligned in the body. I just want to say real quickly, I love this filter. It looks good. I'm grateful for it at this point. But the stories of the body, that's how the body experiences its reality. Your reality is the byproduct of the stories. So I want to give an example. Now, before I get to that really quickly, I do want to drop this in. Your body experiences disease and illness because the core coding of your body has become distorted. It's basically, think of it like when you have a virus on a computer, and that virus basically takes the original data and it corrupts it. And it infiltrates, and then it consumes the original data, and it replicates it with the code of distortion. And that's what happens when you have a story that's processing through your body, that's looping through your body, and that story is saying that something bad happened to me. I believe this moment is bad, and I have a reason to be afraid that the next moment could look like that moment because that moment was so bad. So if we're not in presence with our body, we don't know what stories are being told. Years ago, in 2010, I had a really bad wreck, supposedly. In that experience of my reality, I had a wreck. Broke my right hip, some of the engine went through my right leg, broke my left foot, my left toe still like goes in like that. My right hip is completely flat, it does not flare outwards, and my spine is in like 2 S's. So all of these things are a byproduct because my body still believes that that happened. I had this massive realization when I was exchanging with the sister who's experiencing a lump in her breast. And I was sharing with her that, your body is telling a story with that lump. If you still are afraid, like in that moment that she discovered the lump, just like in the moment that I had the wreck, an impression was made in the body. The organs, the cells, the tissues, they all remember. And they're repeating what they remember. In that moment, there was an emotional response, there was a mental response, there was a soul response. We have then a physical response. Those are the 4 levels of our consciousness in this dimensional plane, and that are emotion. So if we don't retell the story, and I'm not just talking about thinking about it, that's one part of it. We have to be immersed in that parallel reality where something different actually happened. Because if not, our body starts to break down under the weight of the trauma. And that's what the nervous system is relaying all the time. Like, my left side is really heavy. I've had sciatic inflammation. The right side of my body is still operating under such trauma that the left side has to take on a lot of that receiving, and it becomes burdened, okay? Right side masculine, left side feminine. It has nothing to do with being a woman. It has nothing to do with being a man. I have majority happening in my masculine, so therefore my feminine is imbalanced. And that's because that trauma is held on that side. So if I don't retell the story, if I don't actually go into a meditative state, if I don't sync my brainwave, if I don't go into, I think it's alpha, I might not have the name right, but if I don't go into that transcendental state, then I'm not gonna fully implement it, because my nervous system has to be able to feel and experience the immersion of a situation as much as it felt the moment of that wreck. Because if not, then the wreck is going to be the predominant story that my body operates from. So I can get out, I can move, I can stretch, I can do yoga, I can do all the things. But if my body still remembers that story, then my body still remembers what I think about that story. And my body still relays what I think about that story. Now, this process is something that, I know a lot of times, we think that we hear something like this and we have a moment of realization and we're like, oh, I got it figured out. I don't need any assistance. I don't need any support. And technically you really don't. You don't need external support. But if you have a consistent point of reflection, think of the power by having a consistent reflective surface to relay what's happening through you every day and every moment. That's what I love about this group. Like, seriously, I know I talk about my group all the time, but I would not have learned what I've learned thus far if I did not have a group of souls that were just as committed to their growth as I am. And it has been remarkable what has been uncovered. And literally, I was sitting there reflecting for this sister and a moment of support, and I had the realization for myself. I learned. That's why that's what I love, because I'm not in a position where I'm above anyone, where I have the cure and I'm telling you what to do. And here, let me give you a certification for what I know. It's not like that. I am in a space where I remembered what power really is. I remembered that my sovereign state of discovery is my power. That moment was a sovereign moment of discovery. I remembered my power of the creator, as the creator, that if I choose to create instead of consume, then I become a more vibrant, living being of light and embodied shadow. We're so used to consuming these old stories that we don't even, we're so unconscious that we bypass, we escape. We run into doing all these different courses and all these different classes and these different retreats, and we think we're making a difference. But if your internal dialogue is transmitting that you're a bypasser and that you're full of trauma and that you lack safety and security because you haven't reclaimed your remembrance from a space of safety and security, you can't support anyone because you're transmitting from a space of lack. And you're transmitting from a space of, I don't have self-worth. I need this person to make me feel worthy because they are up here, and then because they're up here, I need them to notice me so that I can be recognized, or I need them for my healing, or I need them to see me, or I need them so that I can, catapult myself. Those are all ways that I used to think. That's why I'm saying that. But this moment of discovery made me realize that, wow, okay, so I've been stepping into practice, but I haven't gone back and changed that moment. That's a moment that I talk about. I use it as a reference point. I have been speaking into it, but I have, it just clicked. It was like, I get to recreate the story. What if my body never experienced that moment? What if it never even knew it existed? Oh my gosh, I'm already feeling it. There's so much release. I can breathe. And I feel like my body is not as heavy, and I'm excited, and I'm almost lightheaded because there's so much energy passing through me. It's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I share this, and I share all these things. And these are things that I am sharing with a paid group, and it is happening in a paid group, plus so much more. But these are the things, when we come together and we choose to go into a space of depth, we grow so much. I cannot overstate that. And I know a lot of times people will shy away from this because they'll get one snippet, they'll get one video, they'll listen to the reels, or they'll receive the memes, and we think that we know how to apply it. But you guys, if we do it on our own, we're not doing enough. And I don't mean that to diminish what you do. I don't. I say that because I used to think that way. I used to believe, even when it came to my group, I used to think that, okay, I need no other influence. I don't need to connect. I don't need to do anything else. I had my own closed off way of thinking, even when it came to the group. Once I opened myself up and I broke free from that shell of reality, not only did I start taking in other perceptions, and I'm back into co-creating. I have a beautiful podcast interview coming up this weekend. It'll be we're pre-recording it, but I will let everyone know when it's going to be live with beautiful Janine, and I will link her page, and I will share all of her stuff for you guys to tune in. She's a beautiful, beautiful sister. And, our reconnection came at a most beautiful time. We crossed paths a year ago in the Way of the Rose, when I was co-facilitating with JJ, Activations with JJ. I met many of you during that time. And we hadn't spoken or crossed paths again until now. And that's happening because I've opened myself back up. I'm allowing myself to come back into a space where I'm always immersing myself in the exchange with others. And the majority of that exchange is free. But the depth happens when there's a contract of investment, when we say, okay, we're going to take this deeper and we're going to do it longer. And I know that's not for everyone, but I would definitely, because there's going to come a point, I know, in the collective, at least by next year, where more and more people are going to take it more seriously, where there's going to be more of an investment. But I cannot tell you guys how powerful it is to share in a group of souls that are there for soul growth. Like, we full on transparent, we are recognizing our bypassing, we're recognizing our shadows, we're like, anything that I ask them and invite them in to do, I share my experience of my application with it. I'm not just telling them what to do, I'm sharing in the experience with them, because there is no teacher without a student. There cannot be. And another thing that I shared with them is that, you know, you're going to consistently walk around as a projection of these stories if you do not have a reflective surface or a mirror that's also committed to the same path. If you don't have a mirror that's committed to the same path as you, because you already have karmic mirrors, they're surrounding you all the time. But to have a higher soul mirror that can constantly reflect back a depth of perception, that's a game changer. It's a game changer. And as I have those walking with me and beside me that are also harnessing that, they hold the depth. So even though I step up as the guide and the teacher, I also become the student, because now they grow, they expand, and they give back to me, and I receive it, and I grow so I can give more back to them. And what a beautiful space that is. And I have to share that, because I'm just so in love with it. I really am. And I'm so grateful for it. So I want you guys, if nothing else, at least if this resonates with you, give yourself at least a few times a week to drop into meditation, and at least daily to ask yourself what stories are in motion. And you're not going to catch all of them right away. You're going to catch what you most need to see right now. My body has been a source of inflammation, and now my body is telling me why. And of course it's been telling me, but I wasn't really paying attention. And that's again, the fine tuning of the awareness depends on what you receive and how you receive it. Anybody can hear words. Not everybody can pull the depth of the message within the words. And that's really where this comes in. So I wanted to share this with you guys because it was super powerful for me. It was amazing. Just like, it almost seems kind of like a duh moment, like, duh, Éoaccí, like, this is what we've been practicing. How did you not capture this, right? How did you not recognize this? You can really see the filter now. It's hilarious. How did you not capture it? But the truth is, I captured it exactly when I was meant to. I captured it exactly in the moment I was already aligned to. That was the moment I was meant to. That was the moment where I was going to be able to pull everything from it. And that's the moment where it landed. And I'm super grateful for that. So your body is not sick. You don't need healing. You don't need an external anything. There's nothing that heals you. Even the energy that moves through you is you. It's you. It's your own thoughts. It's your own beliefs. It's your own patterns. So tune into yourself. Ask yourself what's in motion. Discover it for yourself, because you're the only one that holds the experiential truth. That's wisdom. Wisdom is experiential truth. If someone else is telling you for you, you don't hold the experience, which means you don't hold the wisdom, which means you don't fully understand the truth. So therefore, you learn by application. You learn by investing your time, your energy, and your entirety, which is your mind, your emotions, your physical, and your soul. So I hope this resonates. If it does, let me know in the comments. I'll be bringing much more through for you guys. Love you. Adonai.